So this is Baruch Fleischman here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I want to say that I did have the privilege of learning with Rabbi Mimran for several years, like really 4 years. And he introduced me to all kinds of things, and specifically what we were learning was the Rishash Siddur, and trying to understand Kavanos and how to apply them. But along the way, he was also working on this book. Now, he's a person who travels tremendously. He's busy all the time. He's a wiry man that's really fit for going around and getting the word out. But this is a tremendous book that we have here. It shows that there's a real great talent in him, and I am practicing these thoughts all the time. I'm good at it. I don't want to say that, but there's something to learn here. The rabbis elaborated on the parable of the rope. A beautiful idea regarding mitzvahs. As stated there, here's the story. A man had fallen into the sea, and the sailor on board threw him a rope. He said to him, "Hold this rope in your hand, and don't let go of it. For if you let go, you forfeit your life." Similarly, the soul is linked from the higher realms to the lower, as was one end of the rope attached to the boat, and the other end was attached to the person in the water. All of the essence of love and attachment is for a man to attach himself to this rope and to tie himself through it to the root of his soul, which is attached to Hashem. So he says, this is a nice little vort from Reishis Chachma. So the Rabbi Mimran begins. Remember, the state of experience that we were thinking about is not what you think. It is you cannot think about making a soul connect or attaching yourself to God. This is something the mind cannot understand. Now, let me read this again. The state of experience that we are speaking about is not what you think. So he says he wants to say that the experience is beyond thought. So you have to get past thought. It is you cannot think about making a soul connect or attaching yourself to God. This is something the mind can't understand because God is infinite, not thought. It is a heightened state of being that must be felt without any mental labels attached to it. Now, I see myself doing this all the time. If I have an insight, then right away I want to put a label on it or try to store it away, something like that. He's saying that the experience is above that. It's about trying to remember it or trying to apply it, something like that. He says, let's experiment. Close your eyes and say to yourself, I wonder what my next thought is going to be. Then become very alert and wait for the next thought. If you're like a soldier at war waiting for his enemy's next move, what thought is going to come out next? Try it now. So he says, as long as you are in a state of heightened awareness, you are free of thought. You are still yet highly alert. The instant your conscious attention sinks below a certain level, thought rushes in. So it's like you're watching your thoughts, but then you could start getting involved in the watching of the thought of the watching and like that. So the mental noise returns, the stillness is lost, you are back at the mercy of your thoughts. To stay focused in everyday life, it helps to be deeply rooted within yourself. Otherwise, the mind, which has incredible momentum, will drag you along like a wild river. This means to inhabit your body fully, to always have some of your attention directed towards the inner energy of your body, to feel the body from within, so to speak. Body awareness keeps you in touch with the greater part of you, which is your holy soul. Now, this is a complicated little set here. So he says, let me take myself and try to think this through, to stay focused in everyday life. Because look, I go to work, or I work. So it helps to be deeply rooted within yourself. Otherwise, the mind, which has incredible momentum, will drag you along like a wild river. So every once in a while, you got to look up. Every once in a while, you have to get some air. So you have to look at yourself. I'm trying to visualize myself now sitting at this table and reading this book. So this means, so this pulls you out of just the rigors of the physical world. This means that to inhabit your body fully, to really have the neshama inhabit your body, to always have some of your attention directed towards the inner energy of your body, to feel that is that thing which makes your body alive, to feel the body from within, so to speak. Wow. Body awareness keeps you in touch with that greater part of you, your holy soul. Now, I'm not sure how I understand this, but let's go on. Is that you have to realize that the soul is deep down in our bodies and in our beings. In a sense, the state of awareness could be compared to waiting. This is not the usual bored or restless kind of waiting that is denial of the present that we spoke about already. It is not a waiting in which your attention is focused on some point in the future. It's not that kind of a waiting, and the present is perceived as an undesirable obstacle that prevents you from having what you want. There is a qualitatively different kind of waiting. So we're waiting. But he says, no, that's not the waiting. There's a waiting which is a qualitatively different kind of waiting. One that requires your total alertness. Something could happen at any moment, and if you are not absolutely awake, absolutely still, you'll miss it. In that state, way down at the bottom here first. In that state, all your attention, here we go, is totally harmonious with your present situation. There is none left for daydreaming. You're alert, thinking, remembering, anticipating, going back and forth between this and that. There's no tension in it, no fear, just alert presence. You're watching. You are present with your whole self, with every cell of your body. In that state, the you that has a past and a future, the personality, if you like, is hardly there anymore. No worries, since nothing of value is really lost. You are still essentially yourself. In fact, you are more fully yourself than you ever were before, or rather, it is only now that you are truly complete by being attached to your higher self. He writes in his blurb, and you have to excuse me, I messed this up a little bit. Attaching yourself to God is something the mind can't understand. It is a heightened state of being that must be felt without any mental labels attached to it. Again, attaching yourself to God is something the mind can't understand. It's not rational. That's something that could be reasoned out. It is a heightened state of being, that's what we seek, that must be felt without any mental labels attached to it. This is Baruch Fleischman, and this is Rabbi Yosef Chaim Mimran of the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.